I want you to observe something about yourself. What might you observe about that?
Personality.
What about them?
Outgoing, fun.
Outgoing, social, extroverts. Even those of you that don't think you're extroverted, when you get in front of in a group of people that you know and are comfortable with, all of a sudden you get real chirpy. Uh-huh. But when you're around people that you don't know as well, you tend to get a little quiet and reserved. No, some of you. So take your observation about the room this morning, just 5 minutes ago, and apply that to your business. Where do you think your business ought to come from? Yeah, many of you completely change your personality type when you get in front of other people. You get real chirpy. Your energy level goes way up. It does. I walk in the room, the energy level's way up. You're all engaged, every single one of you. What we in our business, what kind of target audience approach would we call that? I'm sorry? Sphere of influence. Okay. What else would you maybe call it? Uh-huh. And what do we call that? Networking. Right. Right. Almost everybody. Sometimes we just overthink this and make this so hard, and we're so analytical. Good morning. We get some Zoomers jumping on with us. We make it so hard. We get so analytical about it when actually, why don't you just turn around and put the wind at your back? Swim down current. Stop swimming into the current. Stop trying to force yourself to do things that intellectually make sense and just go with who you are. Get around groups of people and get chirpy. Get to know them. Let them get to know you. It can be just that simple. Claire, I just got the rankings through the end of April out. Claire is in the top 20 in the state of Georgia. Was up there. What do you do? Wow, I know. I know. What do you do? Right. Just gets in front of people. How does she get in front of people? She does it by open houses. And I go, that just makes all the sense in the world. It's not a deep dive analytical study. It's not. It doesn't take hours and hours of contemplation. Just get in front of people. Most of you, it's why you got your real estate license. Somebody told you, or you kind of felt it about yourself, that you do well with people. Mm-hmm. Most of you, not everybody, but most of you do well with people. You don't have a lot of conflict in your life. You have drama, but it's not really with it. You just get emotional about things. People, let's don't make it overly complicated. Chris, your biggest problem right now today? No, you're fine. You don't have enough. You don't know enough people. That's it. Does anybody think that's not their problem? Yeah, it's everybody's problem. You just don't know enough people. Enough people don't know you. Well, what's enough? I don't know. It depends on what your goal is. Whatever your goal is for this year, you've got to know enough people to throw off a chance to make that happen. Now I'm going to kill you. So far, you like this talk track, don't you? You're all in on this. Now I'm going to make Brett happy. Okay. Brett, do you have your phone with you? That was kind of a rhetorical question. I want you to pull up the calculator on it. Okay. And let's do something. Now, who's willing to be the guinea pig with me? Who's willing to tell me what their transactional goal for this year is? 33. Okay. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound so. If you sold 33 homes this year, about how much money would you gross? How much? No, gross, you're roughly gonna make, it's real easy math. I mean, come on, I'm a real estate agent too, so we're gonna keep this math real easy. $10,000 per deal, plus or minus. So if you sell 33 homes this year, how much money would you gross? I mean, 300 a day. See how easy that is? 330. Okay. Well, let's find out how many people he needs to know that need to know him to throw on 330,000. Because how many cold calls do you want to make today? No. You don't want to make any. And how much money do you want to spend on marketing today? Come on, tell me the truth. Like none. Would that be as little as possible? Okay, so you really don't want to buy your business. Is that fair? Because if you do want to buy your business and you've got hundreds of thousands or millions, I can show you how to do that. I know how to do that. I don't ever recommend it to you, but if that's what you want to do, I can show you how to do that. So you really don't want to do cold calls. You don't want to buy your business. How much door knocking are you going to do today? You're not going to do any of that either. Well, he kind of has a problem now then, doesn't he? So he's not going to buy his business. He's not going to be salesy and cold call or door knock for his business, but he does want to do 33 transaction sites this year. Well, how many people? Then you're going to have to know a certain number of people. You think it's 10,000? Okay, Brett, you ready? Okay, 3% of the U.S. population is going to move. That's just a statistical fact. Our problem is we don't know which 3%. Like, wouldn't that be good? One day you will. In the not too distant future, I say within 5 years, we will have AI is going to really accelerate this. It could be quicker than 5 years, but let's just say 5 years. In 5 years, you're going to get a report telling you within your database of people. This is why you want to be building the database of people. So if you've got all these people in your phone, this isn't going to help you. But you're going to be able to get a report and it's going to tell you which 3% are the ones that are likely to move this year. And I think that's what we really want to know. 10,000 people. I don't really need to, which 3% of those people are going to move? But right now, today, you don't. But it's coming. This is why you want to get them all into a CRM. And you want to be building all this up. Because the day this stuff becomes real, and I don't know what day it's going to be, but it's coming. You aren't going to have time. Every day that you didn't have this is going to cost you a lot. You want to be doing it now. Okay? What's 3% of 10,000 people? I'm not even an engineer. I picked on 300. It's not 300. 3,000. Get for calling on the engineer. Is it 300? 3%. Well, he went to Texas. I don't know if that knows what he's doing or not. It's not like he went to a real school. Okay, so Miguel thinks it's 10,000 people, which would mean 300 are going to move out of that 10,000. And what's 20% of 300? 60. 60. So it's even that. Yeah, you don't need to know 10,000 people. You need to know what, it's about half of that, right? It's about 5,000. It's about 5,000 people. So let's find out. What, Brett, what is 3% of 5,000? $150. And what is 20% of 150? 30. There you go. Plus or minus, that's about right. 3% of 5,000 people are gonna move each year. You're not selling, you're not capturing all of them, right? Is that fair to say? You're not gonna get, nobody's getting 100% market share. So what's reasonable? If you do your job every day, you do a good job of staying sticky with these people, it's reasonable that you can capture 20% of what's available to you. Right? Okay, well, there's your 30 transactions. You just have to show me your database of 5,000 people. That's it. Now, just do that math with whatever you want your number to be. Everybody's number is not 33. Some of you, it's a lot less. Some of you, it might be more. But that's how many people you have to have in your database. Miguel has to have in his database to have a reasonable shot at it. And then he can just use his people skills, his soft skills. He can just get to know them, allow them to get to know him. And it's not like he doesn't have to cold call anybody. He doesn't have to spend thousands of dollars on marketing. He doesn't. He just has to get sticky with them. And that's what you're doing here. I hope it's what you're doing here today. It's why I am an insistent nag, and I am a nag. I'm a nag, and I'm never going to stop nagging you. If you want me to stop nagging you, you're going to have to quit. Then I won't ever nag you again. Screw you. You're dead to me. But I want you to get up and get dressed and come here. Why? You got to, Miguel, you have to get sticky with those 150 people, but you don't know who the 150 people are. So what you really have to do is get sticky with the 5,000 so that you cover the 150, right? So that you're top of mind, that you have credibility, that those people, they might not all, they won't all choose to work with you, and it'll hurt your feelings when they don't, but there's good reasons why they didn't. Some of them just won't like you. You're right. Some of them will have a deeper relationship with another agent. Right. That's okay. You never thought you were reasonably thought you were going to get 100%. Some of you do, and you crazy. But the reason why you feel inside like I've got to get everyone is you just don't have enough people. So you never gave yourself a chance. And so every opportunity that comes up this year, you feel this pressure inside to capture it because you don't have that many opportunities. And then you get so upset when they choose somebody else, like something really bad just happened. Honey, you were never going to get it all. Nobody. Coca-Cola doesn't get 100% market share. You all don't fly Delta Airlines. Some of you fly other airlines. Nobody gets everybody. But I need it. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Well, I thought they were my friend. They are your friend. They are your friend. But is it possible that they know other people in the real estate business and maybe they have a deeper connection with them? Maybe they are your friend, but their best friend also has a real estate license? Stephanie?
So I used your advice that you gave this week about.
You did? Somebody finally did?
About promoting other people's businesses that you know without expecting anything in return. So I have a friend who owns an organization business. She's a professional organizer. And I promoted her on my social media yesterday, like, hey, summer's coming if you're looking to declutter, and I gave her information. And I saw her at my children's practice last night, and she introduced me to a parent whose mother-in-law wants to move here from Wisconsin. And I put them on a buyer, I put them in real estate.
Okay. So you made a cold call to a stranger?
No,
You did something nice for somebody you
I
know?
did.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk like my West Coast friends for a second, okay? Because they talk so weird. Anybody here from the West Coast? Nobody's here from the West Coast? Tell me, where are you from? Oh, good. Okay, so don't take this too personally, okay? But y'all so weird. Yes, you are. Bunch of fruitcakes out there. State income tax in the state of Georgia. You know what it is? 6%. 6% of your income goes to the state of Georgia. You know what it is in California? What? Anybody know? Not 20. Yeah, I think it's 15 and a half. Yeah, it's getting close to 3 times more than ours. Y'all so crazy? Gasoline costs almost $1 more a gallon out there. Because why does gasoline cost more in the state of California than it costs in Georgia? Yeah, gas doesn't cost more. I had somebody try to convince me. Christina's from California. She's just crazy. No, it costs a lot more to get the gas to California. Like it does not. It's all state taxes. That's why it costs more. Who's from New York? Y'all look up. Notice they ain't from New York anymore, are they? California is the only state in the country that makes y'all look good. Okay. Mike, you got to make deposits in the business equity account. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Mike, you have to make deposits before you make withdrawals. I'm like, I swear if I go back home and talk like that, I'll get beat up. That's how they talk. Deposits in the business equity account of life, Mike. What'd you do? There you go. I think that's what they're talking about. Before they did something nice for you. Okay, so somebody from LA would go, well, you made a deposit in the business equity account before you made a withdrawal. Yeah, look, Miguel, you got to have a database of 5,000 people. That's job one. So do you have a database of 5,000 people? Then you ain't selling 33 homes this year. I'm sorry. It's your fault. But you have total control over it. Just go meet 5,000 people. Well, how's he going to do that? Well, how's he going to do it today? Because I mean, if you know Miguel, he's a little impatient. Like he wants that now. He doesn't want to be building for it in some future date. He wants it now. Notice he said his goal this year is 33. And I go, that's great. Where's that coming from? Uh, uh, how can he add? Well, how many people do you think you have right now? You go sell 3.
But 82% of your past clients,
What?
you get 82 referrals to your pipeline, 82%? No? I do
Yeah.
have a lot of.
80? Yeah, the study that just came out said of the top 150 agents in the country, the average, they said 82% of their business comes from referrals. I absolutely believe that. And I absolutely believe that every single one of us got into this business with that in mind. That's how it was going to work. That's great. So you want 82% of your 33. So Brett, help me out here. What's 82% of 33? Okay, good. That's fine. It's actually how it works. You just have to meet enough people. So how can you do that? Like, what's networking? Like, what kind of events? Like, what are you going to go to this week?
I've been trying to get it for Vietnam. It's not that easy. It's a lot.
Okay, so the banner on my wall that I kept from boot camp says what? I'm sorry, Miguel, what does the banner say? That's right. Yeah, nobody cares that you tried to get into BNI and it's hard. Do it or shut up. Okay, so how's he going to meet 5,000 people? He's got 4,500 more people to go. So how's he going to meet 4,500 people? Okay, okay. Open houses, okay. Leads, good. Neighborhood events, okay, good. Church, okay, good. Children's sports, you have kids? Do you let them out of the house? Okay, good. All these things are the answer. Look what you didn't say. You didn't say cold calling FSBOs are expireds. You didn't. You could, but you didn't. You said all these other things. Yeah, do all those other things every day. And then you build the network. And then once you, or as you build the network, then what do you have to do? Yeah, you gotta get sticky with them or follow up. How would you follow up with them? How would you email? Yeah, I know. You cheater. I know. It's right there on the board, isn't it? That's why we keep it right there on the board. Do that shit. Good. What are you going to do today? Okay, good. Do all those things. And this is why I want you to come here. And only this. I got to be some kind of crazy. All I'm doing is creating a bigger burden on myself. You take up space. You suck in oxygen. You eat stuff. You like to sit down. You like to eat my popcorn. You do all kinds of stuff. If you weren't here, I'd have the whole place to myself. And do you know how good that sounds to me? Like, oh, try me. See if I can deal with being lonely. I could get into some lonely. But if I thought for 1 second that you'll do that stuff at home, but you won't. I won't either. Oh, I will. Well, if you will, then you would. If you will do it, then you would have done it. Well, I'm going to. Like, okay, so like, what's the start date? Let me guess. Monday. It's always someday in the future. My wife and Jay Manning are both cut from the same cloth, which is some special kind of crazy. Don't say crazy shit around them. They will get in your grill. I watch my wife, who never confronts anybody on anything. If you knocked on my door right now at my house and said, Jane, if you don't let me come in and take whatever I want, I'm going to be mad at you. She would just open the door and say, take whatever you want. I don't care. Just don't be mad at me. I watched her dress down this woman the other night. It made me uncomfortable. The woman was telling her how she really admired Jane's fitness and she was going to get in shape. She was determined to get in shape this year. And I went, oh shit, it's about to happen. And it did. Jane goes, that's good. Good for you. I'd love to help if I can. And the woman goes, I would love that. And Jane goes, good. Let's sit down on the floor and do some sit-ups and push-ups. And the woman goes, well, not right now. I don't have the right clothes on. Jane goes, it doesn't matter. Well, no. I'm going to start. Jane goes, start right now. Well, not right now. I was just talking about what I'm going to do. And Jay, she won't let it go. And Jay, that they're just, oh, don't even bring it up unless you're ready to sit down on the floor and do some push-ups. No, let's do it right now. And you could tell the poor woman, she was wanting to backpedal out of this conversation so much. No, right now, honey, sit down on the floor. I'll do them with you. Well, I don't want to start right now. I want to start like Monday. Sometime I got to go buy the clothes. I got to join the club, the gym. I got to get ready to get going. Miguel's got to get ready to get going. He would like to join a BNI group, but it's so hard. That's what people that don't make any money say. Sorry, I pick on you, but you asked for it. I'm actually being pretty easy today. That's what people that don't make any money say. That's what people that never get in shape say. All kinds of, it's always sometime in the future. Get up, get dressed, come here. What? There ain't nothing else to do here. You might as well do that shit because it gets pretty boring around it. That's why you leave at 2 o'clock because you're bored. I'm like, but did you do the whole list? No. Okay.
Do you have to have a BNI or be part of a BNI just to have, a group of people that you are friends with, that only you guys refer people to?
That is such a good question. Yes. Business Networking International. It's a leads group. It's really good. It is really good. And several of our associates here are in, like Rip's in one. Rip gets a lot of business out of his. Mhm. But Stephanie's question is, does that have to, like, is there a law? Will you get arrested
Or
if,
like violating anything, like I have a few friends who own their own businesses, like the one I just mentioned.
you mean, could you start your own leads group?
Yeah.
Shh, we need to talk about this after Miguel leaves the room. Because he needs to blame things for why it's not happening. Right. Could you start your own? What an interesting idea. One thing that BNI does that is, which makes them, it's what's made them successful at that networking stuff, is they have a couple of rules. You have to show up. If you're allowed a certain amount of excused absences, it's kind of like our connectors group in the morning. I give you one snooze warning a month. The second one, you out. Okay, so they do that. There's required attendance, because if you don't have required attendance, people go when they feel like it and they don't go. So you got to have a reason to go or I'm going to get kicked out. They require referrals within the group. And so they keep track of it. You have to report it and they keep track of it. And if you're in a BNI group, you have to give a referral to everybody else in the group every year. Uh-huh. Well, I might not know anybody that needs an electrician this year. You better find somebody. A lot of the workplace posts you see are coming from agents that are in like you would think that they're looking for an electrician. Like, oh, well, they must have a customer that needs an electrician. Uh-uh. They need to give a referral to an electrician. Could you start your own? What a great idea. Why not? And invite all the people that you know that would like to be in something like that, but can't get into something like a BNI group or a Rotary Club or something like that. Would you start your own? This is what I always thought that stacking would lead to. You ever been to a Greek restaurant where they do the plate spinning? Has anybody ever seen that? Claire, you've seen it? Can you describe it?
Yeah. It was just absolutely wild. It was so noisy and everybody was just smashing things everywhere. People were standing on the tables. Like,
Did you ever see the guy that spins the plate on a stick?
yeah,
Okay. Can you describe that?
did it on stick. He just kept on spinning it. And he was dancing with just his legs and this wasn't moving, like it wasn't shaking. It was just circulating all the time.
Okay, so a lot of times what they'll do is how many plates spinning on a stick can you get going at one time? It's a little bit like juggling. So they get one plate spinning on a stick, and then they'll get another one. Then they have to go back and keep that one spinning, and they have to keep the second one. Then they do a third one. And pretty soon they've got all these plates spinning on top of a stick, and they're just trying to keep them all spinning as much as they can. And the skill is how many of those can you have going at one time? Right. I mean, it's not high level entertainment, but it's kind of interesting to watch. And I think it's our business. So, okay, so we'll use Miguel. Let's say that Miguel actually did something. I know, but let's just drink, okay? Okay, so he went to something last night. I know, but okay, so let's say that he went to a Chamber of Commerce thing and he met 10 people. And then today he's actually going to do his job, which he's going to get them in his database and he's going to start getting sticky with them. And one of the things, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things, but one of the things is he's going to try to set up a stacking meeting. And stacking meetings are like Miguel's going to have his coffee house. Okay. And I met him last night at a Chamber of Commerce thing, and he's going to call me today. He's going to say something like this. Hey, Mike, it's great to meet you last night. Hey, it's kind of hard to really talk and get to know people. One of those things. I was wondering if you would be available to grab a cup of coffee on maybe Friday morning and see if we could find ways to help each other. Would you be open to that? I'd go, well, yeah, because that's kind of why I was there too. You go, great. Well, I like to do it at this place. Are you a morning, early person or a little bit later? I'm an early person. Great. I like to get started at about 6:30, 7 a.m. How early would you like to meet? I go, well, let's do the 6:30. You go, shit, I was afraid you were going to say that. I was just saying that to impress you. I didn't really expect you to take it. Okay. Now, is everybody going to agree to come meet him at that coffee shop this Friday morning? No, everybody's not going to do anything. But let's say I did. Right. Now he calls another person that he met last night. He gets them to show up at 7, and then another one at 7:30 and 8. And every Friday he's doing this. I got a friend of mine in Calgary. She's selling over 100 homes a year just doing this. And she is booked up from 6:30 to 10:30 every Friday morning. And she says the hard part of that is make sure you govern your caffeine intake. You sit there and drink coffee for 4 hours and you might not sleep all weekend. At the end of the stacking meeting with me, he might say, hey, I've got a 7 o'clock that's coming in to meet with me right now, but I really enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. Would it be a good idea? Maybe we do this once a month? And I might say, yeah. He would say, okay, great. Hey, I tell you what, why don't you bring a friend next time and I'll bring a friend. Now, your friend shouldn't be in the real estate business, Mike. Okay. I go, okay, I'll bring somebody, you bring somebody. Then next month, there's 4 of us. And then the next month, there's 8 of us. And then the next month, there's 16 of us. And so on, right? But not just that, he's doing the same thing with the 7 o'clock person that comes in and the 7:30 and the 8 o'clock. How long does it take before he's got hundreds or thousands of people in a networking activity? How long before at some point he has to go, hey, all you people, we need to all get together at the same time now. This is starting to get a little bit crazy. How do you think BNI got started? Just like that. Takes that initiative. It takes the initiative to have met me in the first place and then to follow up with me and to suggest things like that and not expect everybody to do it. Some people just aren't going to come to your coffee shop, and Miguel can't drive around to 6 different coffee shops every week. Yeah, that'll kill you in this city. So the people that can come to his coffee shop he meets with, and the others can go crawl up and die somewhere. He doesn't care. That's how you do it. And then you meet with them every month. And pretty soon you have lots of plates spinning and you have your own networking group. You don't need BNI. But you do need to create the expectation. You're going to show up, or I don't have time for people that don't show up. And we need to be generating referrals among us. Because they'll have a burden to generate referrals for you too, right? Right. And you never had to call a FSBO, and you never had to call an expired, and you never had to knock on a door, and you didn't have to spend thousands of dollars. My friend in Calgary, she says, hey, once you get this going, you'll never buy a cup of coffee. She goes, I get breakfast and all my coffee for free. Why? Well, look at how many people she's bringing in there all the time. Right. The coffee shop doesn't need her to buy anything. Everything with her is free. That she says that takes a couple months and they'll just start going, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So that's actually free too after a while. We make it so much harder than it has to be sometimes. It really can just be that simple, but it requires a lot of initiative on our part. Somebody, Miguel would have to be that little organizer and suggesting it because other people just look, they came to that event. Everybody comes to that stuff for the same reason. They're trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. They're trying to get a business built and going, but they don't really know how. And they're a little inhibited, a little reluctant, and they just need somebody to take the initiative. And then what they think is they like you because what they think is, well, that's what I should be doing. And they really like you because you had the initiative to do it. Does that make sense? I want to offer you a tip before we stop this morning. Miguel, let's just get crazy for a second and say that you actually had gone to something like that last night. Okay, is that too far of a reach? You okay with that? Okay. I don't know the percentage, but I think most people that go to networking events are a little, they're a lot uncomfortable. They're a little intimidated. It's an unusual person that just walks in and walks up to everybody with a big smile and introduces themselves, and they're just the social butterfly. There's some people like that. Most people are just like feeling a little uncomfortable and awkward. That's most people in the room. I want to tell you a story, and I hope you can apply this to your business. When I was 14, going into ninth grade, my mom moved us without asking me. Bitch. I went off to camp one week and came back, and I was like, we were driving home. I'm like, where are we going? She's going, we're going home. I'm like, this ain't the way home. She goes, it is now. And that meant for me at that time, we didn't have middle schools. I'm going into high school, and apparently I'm now going to a new high school, and I don't know anybody. I know. To this day, I go, remember when you did that? I was fortunate in that I played sports. So I had not instant, but I had a little path to friends quicker. My brother didn't. My brother didn't do very well with this. It was really hard for him because I was playing football, and football's at the beginning of school year. It was a little bit easier for me, but it was still horrifically uncomfortable. And I'm 14, and this is every networking meeting you're ever going to go to. So it's already hard to be 14. Can you remember back to when you were 14? I mean, somebody in the room was the cool kid in school, and the rest of us just hate your guts. Yeah, somebody in the room, somebody was the pretty girl at school or the school athlete, and everybody loved you, and you were Mr. High School, and screw you. Because the rest of us were awkward and shy and very uncomfortable all the time. And that was me. So I'm 14. School bus picks us up and drops us off at school an hour before classes start. Well, what am I supposed to do? So I just like hold up a wall. I just stand outside, leaning up against a wall, minding my own business, not talking to anybody. And this guy walks up. Now, I want you to keep in mind, I can't tell you what I had for lunch yesterday, but I can remember this guy's name, Joe Moss. And Joe was 1 year older than me. And he walks up to me like the third day and said, hey, are you new here? And I said, I am. He goes, me too. Do you know anybody here? I'm like, I don't know anybody. He goes, me either. Do you mind if I stand here and talk to you for a while? I'm like, no, that'd be great. Turned out Joe knew everybody. Joe wasn't new there at all. Joe was the cool kid at school. I know. That's how cool he was. He's 15 years old. He's just making that shit up to make me feel more comfortable. Right? Uh-huh. And he and I became great friends to this day. Now, I don't talk to anybody, any of those other losers I went to high school with. I don't talk to any of them. I don't go to reunions. I don't do that shit. Act like I like people that treated me bad in high school. Screw you. But if Joe Moss needed anything from me, I would go anywhere in the world for that guy right now. I would get on a plane, go anywhere in the world he needed me to go. I would do anything for him. Why? Because he was nice to me when I was 14? Absolutely. If you go to a networking event, pick out the people, you'll be able to spot them. Pick out, don't go looking for the cool people. They don't need anything. They're already very happy with themselves. Go find the people who look the most uncomfortable to you and do what Joe did with me. And they will be your friend, or they will do anything to help you. They will go out of their way to drive business to you. They will be fiercely loyal to you the rest of your life. They will. They don't know how to do it. They just feel so uncomfortable. It's part of their job. They have to be there just like you, and they feel as horrifically uncomfortable as you feel, and they don't know anybody either. You be that person like Joe was with me, and you will build friendships that will last you forever. See, I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, and I can remember every second of meeting Joe Moss. I can picture where I was and what I was wearing and what the temperature was outside. I can tell you everything about that interaction from 48 years ago. Are you kidding me? I can't tell you anything else from 48 years ago. I can tell you that. That's how much of an impact you can make on other people. If you can do what he did and get outside of your own feelings and go try to help other people, or what Stephanie did. Don't don't do stuff like call me if you want to buy or sell. That's god awful horrible. And don't post how pretty you are and how great you look today and all this shit. It's not about you. If you do what Stephanie did and you shine the spotlight on other people instead of shining it on you, that's where referrals come from. Those people, just like her person, those people will look to pay you back. They will. But we are so busy taking care of ourselves. So here's what I didn't tell you about that story. My brother, who's a year younger than me, where is he in that story? He's not. I wasn't taking care of him. I was just so busy taking care of me that I didn't take care of him. Right. Bad on me. But I was 14 and it was all I could do to just try to take care of me. My needs were so overwhelming to me, I couldn't take care of anybody else. Right. I regret it, but I'm going to implore you be better than me. Right. I know how you feel. Miguel, you're going to maybe go to something and everything you do, just like Stephanie in your life, everything you do in your life is networking. Work your neighborhood. That's just networking. It's just getting to meet everybody in your neighborhood and get sticky with them. Get outside yourself and focus on them. And it's hard, but it's hard at first, but it will be easier because then you won't have to be so cute and charming to everybody. And they will love you for that. Fair enough? All right, let's go work.